There are punishments so cruel, so diabolical, that even the most insensitive minds can be shaken by them. Some are violent, while others may seem harmless at first glance. But when you understand their true impact, you'll realize that not everything that seems light is truly harmless. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most bizarre and disturbing punishments ever devised by humanity. One that blends pain, laughter, and silent suffering. Brace yourself. What you're about to hear is so strangely cruel that it's hard to believe. We're talking about a form of torture that combines tickling and agony with a silent and relentless suffering. Imagine being placed in a situation where you cannot move. Your hands and feet are immobilized, leaving no room for escape. Fear begins to take over, but that's just the beginning. What comes next is something so unbearable that your body starts to break down. The first stage of this torture is simple but lethal. The prisoner is restrained, with hands and feet tied, completely vulnerable, but the worst is yet to come. Next, a mixture of salty water and honey is applied to the prisoner's feet. What might seem like something harmless, even playful, quickly turns into a nightmare. The sensation on the feet begins to intensify, but what happens next is what makes this punishment unique. Enter the goat, an animal seemingly harmless, but with a sinister purpose. The goat starts to lick the prisoner's feet, and you might wonder, why would this be considered torture? The answer lies in the soles of the human feet. They are one of the most sensitive areas of the body. Each stroke of the goat's rough tongue creates an intense tickling sensation. The prisoner starts to laugh. But this is no ordinary laughter. As time goes by, the laughter becomes nearly impossible to control. But it isn't joyful laughter. It isn't a reaction of amusement. It's uncontrollable laughter triggered by pain and pressure. The sensation of tickling transforms into suffocation. The laughter is so intense it makes it hard for the prisoner to breathe, and panic sets in as they are unable to stop. The goat's rough tongue, with each lick, begins to wear away the delicate skin of the prisoner's feet. Layer by layer, the skin is stripped, causing excruciating pain that is heightened by the tickling sensation. The laughter, which begins as an involuntary defense mechanism of the body, soon becomes a silent scream of agony. The prisoner slowly starts to suffocate, unable to stop the torture. The suffering goes far beyond mere tickling. It's an experience of terror and hopelessness. This punishment, though it seems absurd and almost comedic, is one of the most disturbing. It blends laughter, pain, and suffocation, creating an endless cycle of agony. The prisoner doesn't know when it will stop. They don't know when the torment will finally end. In the end, the torture is not only physical, it's psychological. The feeling of having no control, of being trapped in a cycle of pain that cannot be interrupted. Often, the most unbearable suffering isn't what we see with our eyes, but what hides within the most human of reactions. This punishment is a reminder of how, sometimes, the greatest torment can come disguised as something seemingly simple, but utterly devastating. And when faced with such atrocities from history, it's impossible not to reflect on just how far humans are willing to go in their pursuit of control or revenge. In the end, all that remains is the echo of the suffering and the silence of a torture that will never be forgotten.